Hey guys, Anthony here with WeBackTesla. And WeBackTesla, because if Tesla fails, the acceleration to a sustainable future fails, and we can't have that. So please consider subscribing, become a part of the solution, and when you make the awesome decision of purchasing your Tesla, you can use our referral link down below, get you some free supercharging. But that's enough of that, because today we're doing episode 7 of our range series. I just got done at the gym, so we're about to take off. This trip's going to be 240 miles, about 380 kilometers through some beautiful Colorado mountain towns. I planned it out on a better route planner. I'm going to do it on the Tesla navigation. I'll run through that real quick before we take off. But quickly, the reason why I'm going on this trip is because my wife, she's a contractor for some of the zip lines here in Colorado. Tourist season is coming up, and she's training a lot of the new guides, and she's going to be spending the week down by the Royal Gorge. And the girls are also going to be staying with Grandma and Grandpa for the week so that I can go to work. So I'm going to go visit them for a little bit. And honestly, I don't really need much of an excuse to go take this car out. So let me break down exactly what my trip's going to look like, and then we'll take off. All right, let me show you the trip I planned on at betterrouteplanner.com first. Then I'll show you guys the navigation on the car itself, and then we'll hit the road. So on a Better Route Planner, I planned the trip. As you can see, it's a big loop. I'm going to be going through some beautiful Colorado mountain towns. We're going to hit Woodland Park first, drop into Buena Vista, and then drop into the Poncha Springs Supercharger. There we'll get a little bit of juice, and then we'll head to Canyon City, where I grew up, where Jess is going to be doing her training for the zipline guides, and is where my girls are with Grandma and Grandpa as well. So I'll visit with them for a little bit, then we'll head up to Colorado Springs so that I can go to work for the rest of the week. So let me show you real quick how I configured this trip. Let me go ahead and go back to the configurator. I actually left everything default. The only thing I changed was the charger min arrival and the goal arrival charge. I put those at 20%, but everything else is default. You can get real granular here with the different variables that will affect your range, but I wanted to see how it performs with default on a pretty average mild day. So let's go ahead and hit plan route, and as it's calculating, it will give me what it thinks I need to do. So here, the main thing I'm concerned about is the state of charge it's going to take to get from point A to point B. So as you can tell from a 90% state of charge, it's going to take me about 50% battery to get to Poncha Springs. And this is telling me that it's only going to take about 40% battery to get from Poncha Springs back to my starting point. And this makes a lot of sense once I look at the elevation screen. So here you go. Starting in Colorado Springs, I'm at 6,100 feet. And ending up in Poncha Springs, I'm going to be higher. The highest point is 9,500 feet, as you can tell. So it makes sense for me to take about 10% more battery to get there while using less battery to get back. So here's my trip. It's telling me that I need to spend about 8 minutes at the supercharger. I'll probably end up spending longer than that with the time it's going to take to go pee and shoot a little bit of video. But my main concern is how accurate is this in battery consumption from one point to the next. So let's go ahead and look at the navigation screen on the Tesla itself, and then we'll hit the road. Alright guys, so I navigated to the Poncha Springs Supercharger in the car itself, and as you can see, it's virtually the same as a Better Route Planner, about 50% state of charge to get there. Why don't we go ahead and just take off? So there's Pikes Peak. We're going to be heading around Pikes Peak and through the mountains, and we're gonna hopefully see some beautiful scenery along the way. Hey guys, I made it to the Poncha Springs Supercharger. I've got another Model 3 here, pretty empty. It was a great drive. I did run through some weather. So let me show you the results so far, and hopefully you guys saw, or you will see, some of the footage, because Colorado is freaking beautiful. So I made it here with 44% charge, and I'm pretty sure I was estimated to make it with 41. And I also was going through multiple storms and multiple patches of rain. As you can see, I got a lot of regen here on this last chunk of traveling. I was going downhill, but this was fantastic. This so far so good. This was the uphill portion, so I am higher in elevation than I was when I started in Colorado Springs. So there you go, 193 watt hours per mile, 122 miles driven. So let me switch this display real quick so that you can see kilometers Celsius. It's about 16 degrees Celsius, 120 watt hours per kilometer, and almost 200 kilometers traveled. So let me put that back to something I understand. One thing I do want to point out, this car is rated for 240 miles, and I used, if I were to use 50% like it projected for a 120 mile trip, then that's perfect. That's rated. That's what this car is rated for. So the fact that I did better going uphill and through some weather is very encouraging. So I went 120 miles on less than 50% of the battery, going uphill, gaining elevation, and through some weather. I am pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and plug the car in and get some charge. Alright, so it's only been about 20 minutes. I'm almost to 80% charge now. I literally didn't have much time to just go pee. I checked a couple comments on my previous videos and it's already time's up. I'm about ready to take off for the second part of this trip, but so far, thumbs up for the results. Alright guys, just a quick update on the trip. I'm about 3/4 of the way through the entire trip. I'm just down the road from where my wife works, so I'm going to go see her, and then I'm going to go to Grandma and Grandpa's house and see the girls for a little while, and then I'll complete the trip. But just a quick update on the numbers. I've traveled 175 miles, 178 watt hours per mile. So this part of the trip, I did really well on energy consumption. So right here, I guess these past 30 miles I averaged about 150 watt hours per mile. This is what my projected range if I kept that up. So I'm doing pretty good. I'll update you guys towards the end to see how much percentage of a battery it took me. The trip's gonna be around 240 miles total, and this car's rated for 240 miles. We'll see if we get anywhere close to 100% battery to go 240 miles. And actually, let me do the display real quick to give you guys who care. It's 22 degrees Celsius here, 280 kilometers, 111 watt hours per kilometer. Real quick, so currently we're 3/4 of the way there, 184 miles, about 176 watt hours per mile. I'm sitting at 63% battery. I left the Poncha Spring supercharger at 81%. It's telling me I'll arrive back where we started at 36%, and it is time for me to get my butt home. This is my hometown. This is a little road that is called Skyline Drive, and it's a pretty cool little road. So let's go ahead and get off this little mountain and get back home. Home is right over here somewhere. Yeah, right over these mountains. So we're gonna head that way into the mountains, back to Colorado Springs. So let's go. Alright guys, so the trip is finally over. We are here. Let's go ahead and just look at the numbers. Spoiler alert, I am super excited how this turned out. 242.2 miles traveled, 186 watt hours per mile, and 45 kilowatt hours used. 38% battery here at the end. Let me go ahead and switch this real quick to the other units for those people who care. So it's 16 degrees Celsius now. So 300 and nearly 90 kilometers traveled, 115 watt hours per kilometer, and yep, there you go. So what does this all mean? So this is what it all means. I traveled 242 miles, 390 kilometers, and I used up 90% of my battery. This is a standard range plus that is rated for 240 miles. So just to sum it up, I went to the Poncha Springs supercharger from Colorado Springs, which was a little over 120 miles, and that took me 47% battery to get there. A better route planner and the Tesla itself told me I would use about 50% battery to get there, and so those were pretty close. And they told me I would use about 40% to get back, and I ended up using about 43%. But traveling the rated 240 miles and only using 90% of the battery in this case is fantastic. I couldn't be happier with the results. Disclaimer, you will not always get these results. I will not always get these results. But in these conditions and today, this is what I got. This was real world. I did not sandbag it. If you have other questions concerning the trip, please let me know. But I'm definitely a satisfied Standard Range Plus owner. I've got other range tests planned. I've got another one that's 240 miles. That's going to be almost all on the interstate. So the higher speeds, I'll be really curious to see how much of an effect that has on this car for a longer trip. I really hope that this video is helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. If you're not, please consider it. If you already drive an EV, then thank you. If you don't and you're on the fence, then please join us because these cars are fantastic. If you have any questions about EVs or this car, just let me know down below. Go check out all my other videos. Hopefully I can continue to try to help you guys out. Thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.